Tonight on Reporting Texas TV, why a local ballot item could potentially restructure the city government, giving more power to Mayor Steve Adler.
And how it could become illegal to camp outside designated zones once again.
It's Earth Day, and UT is taking the initiative, not just today, but this whole month to try and give back. Find out more here. Reporting Texas TV starts now. Good evening, I'm Drew Van Chau.
And I'm Daniela Cortez reporting from Austin, Texas.
On Tuesday, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all charges of second and third degree murder of George Floyd, this bringing an end to the 30-week trial. The jury has been deliberating for 10 hours over the span of 2 days. When the trial ended, Chauvin was brought back into custody. The ex-officer could face up to 75 years in prison based on state guidelines. Final sentencing is expected in 2 months.
Former Travis County Sheriff's Deputy Stephen Broderick was arrested Monday after shooting his ex-wife, stepdaughter, and her boyfriend on Sunday morning. According to police reports, Broderick had scheduled a meetup with his son. When APD got a 911 call about a shooting, they found the cars of the 3 victims crashed and the victims shot and killed near their vehicles. His ex-wife had filed a restraining order against him in June for fear of her safety. The Austin police say the reason for the shooting is unknown.
For some, the next story may be disturbing, so we wanted to give you an early warning. Since Daunte Wright's death last week, 2 more young people of color have died at the hands of police officers. Reporting Texas TV, Dominic Levine reports now on how these events are impacting Black students of UT.
Daunte Wright, a 20-year-old Black man, was killed last week in Minnesota by Brooklyn Center police officer Kimberly Potter. Wright's death hits close to home for UT junior Sola Cantai.
My little brother just turned 16. He's getting his driver's license at the end of the month. And I just naturally live in a state of constant panic. I mean, he's a great kid, but how many of these victims are also great kids?
Cantai says she takes precautionary steps to avoid the police at all costs. For her, it's not worth the risk of an interaction. UTPD works with Texas Athletics to remind athletes how to respond when stopped by police.
We're advising them to turn on the lights in the interior if they can, put both hands on the steering wheel, comply with what the officer says. The fight can't be had out in the field.
UTPD officers marched with Texas athletes last summer after the death of George Floyd, and officers say they want to continue to support Black students by partnering with organizations on campus and taking students on ride-alongs. Students struggling to manage racial trauma can schedule an appointment at MyCMHC.
Or head here to the 5th floor of the Student Services Building for an open identity-based discussion group. No appointment necessary.
Stephanie Dodu suggests that professors should assume Black students are struggling and offer help rather than asking how students are doing.
Even hearing these accounts are just creating just a lot of disruption for Black students. Just the closeness also in age makes it seem like it could be any of our Black students.
Cantai wants to feel support in the classroom. She suggests that professors encourage students to utilize the CMHC or give them extensions when necessary.
It's still really tough. Like 2020 sucked, but I mean, 2021 is not off to a great start yet so far. So just start doing more for your students, especially in vulnerable populations.
At UT Austin, Dominique Lavigny, reporting Texas TV.
If you're struggling to cope with these traumatic events, reach out to someone you trust or visit the UT Counseling and Mental Health Services for help.
Within this past week, student activist groups Cops on Campus organized 2 separate marches on UT's campus, demanding justice for Daunte Wright and Adam Toledo, a 13-year-old who was shot by police on March 29th. During the protest, organizers began at University Tower before marching throughout campus, carrying signs while chanting the names of victims to police brutality. Cops on Campus members say their mission includes the removal of UPD from campus.
East Riverside Drive is home to a lot of off-campus housing for UT students. Since a lot of students are coming back to Austin for in-person classes in the fall, Capital Metro is working on improving the transportation services along this stretch. 2 miles of bus priority lanes were recently installed along East Riverside. Since 20% of Capital Metro's overall ridership comes from this part, the goal is to improve traffic flow. Manager Nadia Barrera Ramirez says this has long been a priority.
I remember, back when I was an intern at the city of Austin in 2006, there was a Riverside plan. So, I think we've been taking input from that community for a long, long time, and we know they need better transportation options.
Capital Metro says this project is one of many transit speed and reliability projects underway in Austin. Early voting is underway for Travis County throughout April 27th. One thing Austinites will be voting on is Proposition B, which will determine whether or not the city's camping ban will be brought back. If passed, camping in any non-designated public area would be illegal. The proposition includes penalizing people found sitting, lying, or sleeping on public sidewalks near downtown and the UT Austin campus. Reporting Texas TV will take a closer look at Proposition B next week.
A strong mayor system could arrive in Austin. One item on the ballot that could change Austin City Council is Proposition F, which should give the mayor more responsibility. Here's Clark Dalton with the story.
Proposition F would dissolve or reduce the city manager position held by Spencer Cronk and pass on those powers to Mayor Steve Adler. Political experts say there are upsides and downsides in both systems.
I think that the city manager, a pro for that, is that this person is appointed. This person is like a career bureaucrat. A strong mayor would be more responsive than a city manager.
A strong mayor system makes the mayor chief executive officer, giving them supervision of the budget and veto powers. The group Austinites for Progressive Reform got the measure on the ballot and believes making the mayor more responsible increases accountability for residents.
Which is an odd system. I mean, none of us would want a federal government where our right to vote for the president was taken away from us.
Alongside preparing the city budget, the mayor would now appoint department heads. This means they would supervise our parks, our schools, and city planning. These new powers leave some with concerns.
It's a lot easier to get rid of a bad hire than it is to get rid of a rogue mayor. What I can't tell you is the last time we were successful in recalling and impeaching a mayor.
If the proposition passes, it would also mean the mayor would no longer vote on city council matters. Proposition G has been brought forth, adding an 11th council district to avoid political gridlock.
A weak mayor and strong mayor, I think that that's sort of like a false dichotomy. If you support it today, you might not tomorrow.
In Austin, Clark Dalton, reporting Texas TV.
9 out of 10 city council members oppose this proposition. To find out more about Proposition F, check out the story on reportingtexas.com. A majority vote would make Austin's Police Oversight Office stronger and more independent. The Austin Police Oversight Office ensures the Austin Police Department is transparent and held accountable for their actions. By voting yes to Prop C, City Council will control who is appointed Director of Police Oversight. Currently, this is decided by the City Manager. Similar independent models are already in place in New Orleans and Seattle.
The tenure of UT faculty members may soon be limited, following a bill proposal from the Texas legislature. The recent filing comes as a result of a 2019 incident where a UT professor sued students after they accused him of promoting pederasty in his teachings. This bill aims to discourage UT professors from suing students moving forward, but colleges aren't required to revoke tenure right away. Betancourt says professors in these situations should turn to the university grievance system before taking any legal action.
Almost 1 year after Vanessa Guillen's death, the Texas legislature is considering new bills for protecting military service members from sexual harassment. Guillen was found murdered at Fort Hood by another soldier. On Tuesday, members of Guillen's family joined several Texas lawmakers at the state capitol to highlight Texas Senate Bill 623, or the Vanessa Guillen Act. Legislators say it could help military members report sexual assault and harassment safely. They hope to fill gaps in the Army's procedure involving sexual harassment and assault.
The housing market in Austin is shooting up in price. Find out why after this break.
And the weather is looking cloudy, but what does the weekend have in store? Learn more coming up with the weather.
On Monday, the Clyde Consolidated Independent School District near Abilene approved their gender-neutral student dress code for next year. This development comes after Clyde High School suspended senior Travis Wilkinson last year for wearing nail polish. He says the past dress code was sexist and could be offensive for people of different sexual orientations.
Posted a picture of me flipping off my camera and saying, hey, like, still in ISS, and I dropped their emails and the phone number, and next thing I knew, everything completely blew up. That's when news stations started getting involved. That's when the ACLU and Lambda Legal and Equality of Texas, so many people stepped up to help me.
The district's new dress code does not prevent students from wearing nail polish, jewelry, or piercings based on their gender. It also doesn't distinguish boys from girls and instead uses the word students.
For Austin residents, housing prices continue to skyrocket thanks to an increasing demand for housing. Despite fewer homes being sold in February because of the winter storm, the Austin housing market made a strong recovery in March. According to a Redfin housing report, March saw a 29% record increase in the median pricing of Austin homes, making the cost of an average home $530,000.
A recent UT Austin study could be the answer to protecting the U.S. from wildfire and drought. Researchers went to Northern California and began testing water storage and erosion on different hill slopes. What they found was a similar pattern in how water and slopey lands interact, and scientists may one day be able to predict just how bad future droughts and wildfires will be. The study was led by students from the Jackson School of Geosciences. Happy Earth Day! The Campus Environmental Center at UT is celebrating the Earth not just today, but throughout the whole month. They are hosting several projects, online Zoom seminars, and even an art contest. Maggie Wolanski has the story.
Starting the first ever seed library on campus. It's called the UT Seed Swap. In the fall, there will actually be a physical location in the tower, but this is like our pilot. We're testing to see what people are into.
Nicole Hammond is kicking off the Seed Swap as one of the several events held this month with the Campus Environmental Center. You can also check out the UT Farm Stand, campfire chats, and microfarm workshops.
The Campus Environmental Center partnered with the UT Farm Stand for their seed swap. The organization is giving away basil seeds and soil to encourage a greener environment. So that people are able to understand how food grows and how the things that they eat grow, and also how to kind of take charge of that for yourself and be connected with nature.
The Campus Environmental Center is sponsored by the UT Office of Sustainability. It focuses on student-led environmental action with 6 different product teams.
Mission of the CEC is that we're students who empower other students to promote sustainability or to pursue sustainability for whatever way that means for them.
For Earth Day, the group is hosting an art contest.
Basically, we just wanted a way to get people both inside the CEC and outside involved in like a creative way.
These projects not only educate students on saving the earth, but also empower them to make differences in their everyday life.
It's really just great to learn more. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It's good for your workspace to have plants. It's just all around beneficial, and we want to make that accessible and fun to students.
Maggie Wolanski reporting Texas TV.
There will be a virtual planting event happening on the 25th. Students who wish to join can find the Zoom information on reportingtexas.com.
One way for Texans to enjoy Earth Day is getting outside and enjoying the bluebonnets. The state flower is officially blooming across central Texas, a sign that spring has sprung. Every year people flock to get their photo op with the Texas bluebonnet. Here are some places you can spot the flower around Austin. UT's own Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, Lady Bird Lake Hike and Bike Trail, Bushy Creek Lake Park, McKinney Falls State Park, and even around the UT Tower. Proposed legislation can make cannabis legal in Texas. State Representative James Tellerico announced on Twitter that he filed legislation that will also erase past marijuana convictions and use tax revenue to fund early childhood education. According to the Texas Tribune's latest polling, 60% of Texans support the full legalization of marijuana. Only 13% said it should be completely illegal.
This weekend, the ATX Hemp and Wellness Convention, promoting the health benefits behind hemp, will take place. The convention will feature local vendors, speakers, CBD products, and giveaways. The convention's co-founder says they also want to promote learning and encourage change in marijuana legislation in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a whole day plan. We really just, our main goal from this is we all want legalization and decriminalization in Texas. And so the only way to do that is to educate people and kind of give them more information to know what they need to be voting on and everything like that and what they need to be aware of.
The convention is open to all ages and will take place on Saturday from 12 to 7 at the Manchaca Spring Saloon. More information can be found at atxhempandwellness.com.
The UT Theater Festival has transformed into an online showcase with students flaunting their skills for the camera instead of on the stage. Find out more on our website and coming up.
The UT volleyball team has made it to the NCAA National Semifinals. What's in store for them next? Coming up.
Welcome back to Reporting Texas TV. I'm Samantha Chavez, reporting from Austin. We are having a cool April this year. Today is slightly cloudy and there's a chance of some April showers tonight, leading to a possible thunderstorm tomorrow. However, the sun will come out for a beautiful, bright weekend. It'll be slightly cloudy today with a low of 65 and a high of 74. There is a 22% chance of rain. Showers are expected in the evening with a 41% chance of rain and temperatures lowering in the night. Before we get to our sunny weekend, there is the potential for some severe thunderstorms Friday with an 89% chance of rain. The low will hover around 58 and we'll be seeing a warmer day with a high of 76. Saturday, the sunshine will return and we'll have a high of 83. Sunday, you'll wake up to a mild 62, but get ready for a hot afternoon with temps hitting 90. Monday will be cloudy, while Tuesday has some expected thunderstorms with a 31% chance of rain. The rest of the week will be mostly sunny with some cloudy days. That's all for weather. I'm Samantha Chavez, reporting Texas TV. Back to you, Drew.
Coming up, a new Senate bill is targeting grade school transgender athletes.
After recent declining TV ratings, find out what this year's Oscars have in store for moviegoers.
Welcome back to Reporting Texas TV. I'm Andres Garcia, reporting from the sports desk in Austin. The University of Texas volleyball team will advance to the NCAA National Tournament semifinals after defeating Nebraska 4-1 on Monday. Texas will face off against Wisconsin in the semis on Thursday, April 22nd. A win over Wisconsin would send the Longhorns into the finals for the first time since 2016. Texas Senate Bill 29, which prohibits transgender athletes in grade school from participating in their school's sports teams, passed with a 3-2 vote last week. Although this bill only covers grade school-aged athletes, two bills in the Texas House of Representatives propose expanding this mandate to cover colleges and universities. The NCAA stands against these proposed bills, stating that they will only hold college championships in states where transgender student athletes can participate without discrimination. The NBA ruled on a one-game suspension for Jakar Sampson of the Indiana Pacers following an in-game altercation between Sampson and Patty Mills of the San Antonio Spurs. The altercation, which took place in the fourth quarter of Monday night's game, began with the two competing for a rebound and ended with Sampson headbutting Mills. The Indianapolis 500 will take place on May 30th and hold the largest in-person crowd for any event since the outbreak of the pandemic in the U.S. Operating at 40% capacity, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway will welcome 135,000 fans to this year's event. 12 of the world's most wealthy soccer clubs announced on Sunday that they were forming what they called the European Super League as a replacement to UEFA's Champions League tournament. FIFA sanctioned this poorly received separation by stating that all athletes in participating clubs will be banned from the World Cup. Since Monday, all participating clubs that house American athletes have withdrawn from the Super League. I'm Andres Garcia from the Reporting Texas TV Sports Desk.
Award shows like the Oscars have also taken a hit due to the pandemic. When we come back, see how they are trying to get their ratings back up to normal.
And UT Austin's Live Theater Festival is going virtual this year. We have more on what challenges the theater community is facing next. With the Oscars coming up this Sunday at 5, organizers are hoping for the best after what is being referred to as a lost year. Ratings for the Academy Awards, along with several other award shows, have declined due to a lack of representation in nominees. For those without streaming services, the pandemic has barred voters from watching new movies, but movies like the Netflix Mank, An Ode to Citizen Kane, and the Hollywood blockbuster Judas and the Black Messiah have been nominated.
COVID-19 created challenges for the entertainment industry, especially in live theater. At UT, this meant turning a live theater festival into an online showcase. Reporting Texas TV's Brent Hertzfeld talked with students about the ups and downs of the virtual experience.
Let's talk of graves.
of worms and epitaphs.
For 2 years, senior Nick Saldivar worked on his thesis project called Talk of Graves, but when the Cohen New Works Festival went online for 2021, he only had a few months to turn his live play into a virtual show.
I never filmed anything before, and because it was a one-man show, socially distant, I had to film it all myself, so learning that was tricky.
The Cohen New Works Festival is a biennial student-run showcase. Associate Professor Kirk Lynn says it helps the theater department figure out how well they've taught their students.
When the students have full control of the work they produce, how they spend money, what things look like, we can see what parts of our teaching are working and what parts are not.
Turning a live show into a film is not as simple as performing in front of a camera. Students like Atiya Rasul had to direct their actors without being in the same room.
So I could see the frame, and when they're acting, I could direct them. And also the actors were never in the same room with each other, so they had to wear an earpiece, and they can't really see each other, but they can hear each other, so all the acting is through ear.
I was engaged at the time to my fiance, who was right there.
Oh, dreamy, dreamy Harry.
Disgusting.
Despite the challenges, Nick says he's proud of the way his project turned out.
I don't think it would be very good if it was in person, if I'm being honest. I can't imagine it being something great. That's my cynicism.
In Austin, Texas, Bryn Hersfeld, reporting Texas TV.
If you want to check out the art mentioned in this story, go to reportingtexas.com.
Thanks for joining us tonight on Reporting Texas TV.
If you'd like to check out any of our stories or our newscasts, please visit reportingtexas.com. We'll see you next Thursday. Good night.